Hi, I'm Sandy, and welcome to another day in Life with Sandy. Well, good morning. Today is Saturday, April 1st, April Fool's Day. I'm not going to fool you with anything, though. But we have some birthdays today. Today is Shauna, S-H-A-N-A. Is it Shauna or Shanna? Her channel name is Awesome Otter, so I'm going to say it's Shauna. Well, no, but Shauna would be two N's. Shanna. I'm going to call you Shanna. How's that sound? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Shanna. Or is it Shauna? Happy birthday to you. Cha-cha-cha. It's also Kat D, K-A-T. Kat, it's your birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Kat. Happy birthday to you. Cha-cha-cha. Lisa Short. Lisa. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Lisa. Happy birthday to you. Cha-cha-cha. Also, Susan Niebrick. Susan. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Susan. Happy birthday to you. Cha-cha-cha. And also Nancy Ciampa. C-I-A-M-P-A. Nancy. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Nancy. Happy birthday to you. Cha-cha-cha. Well, I hope all 5 of you have a great birthday, and hopefully I didn't mess up too many of your names. I don't know any stories about Kat or Shauna is my doctor. It was my doctor's name, but she spelled it S-H-A-U-N-A. There's so many different pronunciations to it. So I don't even know that it's Shauna or Shanna. And Cat, I had some kitty cats in my life. Lisa, Danny's name, if he was a girl, was going to be Lisa. Danny was going to be Lisa Marie. And if he was a boy, he was going to be Chad Gregory. He was Chad Gregory for the whole 9.5 months. I carried Danny almost 10 months. I was due on March 25th, and we induced him on April 18th. And my doctor said that maybe I miscalculated because nobody carries a baby longer than 9 months. No. Jim and I went to Toronto for our honeymoon the end of June. And because our anniversary is July 2nd, so we went to Toronto with our bowling group. And we were there for a long weekend. And it was like our honeymoon weekend for us, even though we'd been married for at that point, 8 years? 71? 6 years. We've been married 6 years, 5 years, because I got pregnant in 76. We've been married 5 years. It was our 5-year anniversary. And when we got home, Jim had to go work out of town for a month. And so, unless it was the Immaculate Conception, which I think there was only one of those in my life, that I've heard about in my lifetime, I got pregnant in Toronto. So we always tell Danny he was a Canadian baby. And as soon as I found out he was pregnant, I just knew he was going to be a Chad Gregory, because I loved Medical Center with Chad Everett. And I just loved that. And then Gregory just kind of sounded like it went with it. Chad Gregory just sounded really good together. And so that's what he was going to be. And I was so worried about Danny when I was pregnant with him. I was so worried about Chad the whole 9 months because I had lost a baby between Jimmy and Danny. When I was pregnant with Jimmy, and I love Burger King, whenever I would eat Burger King, I would get so deathly ill. And then when they told me I was pregnant, and I kind of associated it, okay, that's why I'm not liking Burger King, is because I'm pregnant. And then I got pregnant right away after Jimmy was born, because Jimmy was born on October 6th of 1972. My baby that I lost would have been born December 19th, was due, I shouldn't say would be born, but it was due December 19th, 1973. And I was so deathly ill from Burger King. So I went to the doctors and told them, I said, I'm pregnant. I know I'm pregnant. And the doctor says, well, we'll do some blood work and, we'll find out for sure. And I said, well, okay, how much is that going to cost? And, well, I think your insurance will cover it. I go, well, no, I don't need to find out. I already know I'm pregnant. And because I had called him, I hadn't gone in. And he says, well, what makes you think you're so sure that you're pregnant? It was different back then. You could talk to your doctors, not like you have to go through a million little prompts, like push 1 for this and push 4 for that. And then push this and okay, now leave a message. No, you called and if you said, I'd like to speak with the doctor, you got through to the doctor. But anyway, that was long ago, far away. Those days are gone, and I don't think they're ever coming back. But anyway, so he says, well, what makes you so positive? How many cycles have you missed? And I said, well, we both know that doesn't make a difference because I never had a monthly cycle. I would have 2 or 3 a year, if that. My mother took me I didn't start my first cycle till I was like 15 or 16 years old. We went to so many specialists to see what was wrong with me. We've never figured out what's wrong with me. We're still trying to figure that out. But anyway, I never did. So I said, well, I can't go by that. And he says, well, what is your basis of your theory that you're pregnant? And I go, I get so ill when I eat Burger King. And he said, well, that's not a thing. That's not a thing. And I go, it's a thing. So when I was pregnant with Jimmy, I had gone to a Planned Parenthood because they did them for free. They did the test for free. And when I went to the Planned Parenthood for the one I ended up losing, they told me that I wasn't pregnant. But I knew I was pregnant because Burger King's got me sick. And, and I just knew. You don't need a doctor to tell me. I know I'm pregnant. So the doctor says, well, why don't you come in and I'll do an exam. Oh, excuse me. And we'll do some blood work. And I said, okay, we'll do that. So I went into the office. I gotta get a drink of water. 1 minute. Sorry about that. So I went into the office. He did the exam. He did some blood work. And he said, you know what? You're pregnant. I go, I knew that. You didn't need to tell me that. I knew that. So we started my prenatal care, but then I ended up losing the baby. So I never really knew the sex, but I really felt it was a boy because it's just the way I carried him. I just knew it was a boy, and I thought I knew I was pregnant, so I knew it was a boy. To this day, I don't know what it is. When I get to heaven, I'll find out because that baby's waiting for me. But so then when I got pregnant with Danny, I knew I was a boy. I just knew it. I just knew it was a boy. The nurses did their little thing with the heartbeats and all that when I was in the delivery room, and they were right. But I always knew before that. But with Danny, I got sick with Burger King. Just knew it. I got sick with Burger King. And then I had been probably just before my 3 months, and I was getting really ill, so ill. And I went to the doctor's on Friday, and he did an exam, and he says, unfortunately, Sandy, you're going to lose this baby. I don't see it. I think you're going to lose it before the weekend. So just go home, stay in bed as much as you can, get a lot of rest. And he said, but, I want you to be prepared that, you're going to lose this baby too. And I went, so I went home, and the only time I got out of bed was to go to the bathroom. That was the only time I got out of the bed. Jim brought me my food. He took care of me. He took care of Jimmy, who was little at the time. Well, not really little. He was 4, but I mean, little enough. And I persevered. I thought, no, I'm determined to have this baby. I am going to have this baby. And Monday came, and then Tuesday came, and then Wednesday came, and then I had my appointment on Thursday, and he says, you know what, I don't know what you did over the weekend, but that baby's fine. So then when he wasn't coming, I'm thinking, oh, that's when he said, well, all of the exams show that you were pregnant earlier. I don't understand why you're carrying it so long, but we're going to induce labor. So Danny was born on Wednesday. Was it Wednesday? No, Danny was born on a Monday. Danny was born on a Monday. How ironic, because I was supposed to lose him by the Monday. But he was born on a Monday. Jimmy was born on Friday. Christy was born on a Wednesday. Silly little facts like that stay in my mind. I have no idea why. They just stay in my mind. But so come Monday, we had to induce labor. And Jim was we were going to pick up a brand new car, and the doctor said, well, you got plenty of time. So they gave me a shot to induce labor at like 9:45. Jim left. I don't think he was in the parking lot by the time I had Danny. Danny was born at 10:11. So Jim didn't know till he got back with the car. So we had a brand new car to bring Danny home with. So anyway, he was going to always be named Chad Gregory until that Saturday night. I was coming out of the bathroom, and I told Jim, I said, he doesn't feel like a Chad Gregory. He feels like a Daniel Edward. So he says, well, it might be a Lisa Marie. And I go, there's not a shot in hell that it's going to be a Lisa Marie. It's going to be a Daniel Edward. He says, well, if you got your mind set on that name, he says, we'll have that. And that's what we had, Daniel Edward. Jimmy was always going to be Jimmy because he's the fourth. James Emmanuel, the fourth. And then, so Jim was disappointed when David turned out to be David James, because Jim was really hoping it would be James Emmanuel the fifth. But Jimmy didn't like, because there were so many. Well, Jim was Jim. Jimmy was Jimmy. Jim's dad was, no, Jim was Jimbo. I've got that back. Jim was Jimbo. Jimmy was Jimmy. Jim's dad was Jim. And his grandfather was Emmanuel. But he went by his middle name. That must have been a thing back then. Now that I'm thinking about it, I'm just saying that out loud, because I told you my mother's family all went by their middle name. Although my mother was the same age as Jim's parents. I don't know. Anyway. But if he was a girl, he was going to be Jennifer Lynn. And then Christy was always going to be Crispy June, after my mother, June. And she was going to be Jeffrey Michael if she was a boy. But I knew she was a girl because I wasn't sick from Burger King. So I never got sick with Burger King. So the only reason I found out I was pregnant is because I went and took a blood test at the Planned Parenthood. Sat around with all the people that were waiting to get abortions, and I'm sitting there, and then they tell you that, you are pregnant, and I had to say, oh, okay. And they go, do you know what your options? And I go, oh, I'm going to keep this one. I just wanted the free test. I was a miser even then. I was a miser my whole life because I wanted to save that money to pay interest charges on credit cards, I guess, because that's what I ended up doing my whole life, is paying so many interest charges on credit cards. My biggest mistake I think I ever made, well, I made a lot of mistakes as far as finances go. It's not anything I'm really proud of. I know I bring it up a lot, and I'm not really proud of it, but it was my life. It was what I did. I can't change the past. So, but I had gotten to such debt. I went to this credit counseling place, and they had contacted the credit companies and to set up an agreement to lower my interest rate, not to charge me late charges anymore, and that I would pay so much to this company. And I was working, and I think it took me almost 2 years of working my whole paycheck right to them. I didn't get any of my paycheck, right to them to pay it all off. And looking back, and then I had to wait 7 years after the 2 years to get my credit back. So it took me 9 years to get my credit back. I could have very easily just filed bankruptcy and not had to pay any of it. And then I would have only had to wait the 7 years. And then I would have had 2 years that I didn't have to worry about. And I didn't have a problem paying back the money that I owed, that I actually borrowed. I think that looking back, I have a problem with all of the late fees that I paid, because they whapped you like $25 plus on top of the interest and all that. I just think that I paid it back. But so many people don't do that. I did pay it back because I felt that, I used the money. I might as well pay it back. But it was a long 2 years, let me tell you, not having any money. Well, I mean, we had Jim's money, but let me get the phone. I'll be right back. Well, you always know it's a robocall. First, when you don't recognize the number, when it says unknown name, first that's the first clue. And the second clue is when you do say hello, because this one particular number keeps calling me all the time. So I thought, let me find out who it is, and so I can just say, take me off your list. And you have to wait till they click you. And then when they click you, they go, please hold. Okay, you're calling me. I'm not calling you. So, no, I'm not going to hold. So I'll just have to keep answering, hang up, is what I do. So, but anyway, so money's problems aside, now I have money. Not a lot of money, but enough. And I've learned from my mistakes. I'm starting to learn from my food mistakes too. So I'm doing better with that. And, just moving on with my life. It's hard to believe, like I said, today's April 1st. It just seems like it was March 1st. It's like, oh my gosh, the older you get, the faster it goes by, I'm telling you. But I plan on doing March I do in April like I did in March. I think I did very well in March. I stayed on plan. I showed my food. I showed my tracker. Yesterday, like I told you on my video that I didn't have dinner, actually about 8 o'clock at night, I was getting a little hungry. It was 8 or 8:30. I had a green apple, a sugar-free chocolate pudding, and a little bag of pretzels. So I had a 5-point dinner. So I think I was still within my points. I don't know exactly. I did track it. I forget what I had on there. And then today we're going to, I had bought for Danny and Jimmy license plate holders with a golf club. The golf club kind of spins around, and at the very top where the bottom part of the golf club hits the ball, I know there's a technical name, but I don't know what it's called. like the putter or whatever, is the ball. So I thought that was kind of cool. And then I thought, well, I got to get Christy something if I'm getting both of them the license plate holders. And so I got Christy one that has little dachshunds all around it because she likes dachshunds. So I got that. And so then Aaron was sitting there and he goes, what? Nothing for me? So Jim we go to this place that's like about 45 minutes or an hour away. They sell wild game. It's a regular meat market. They sell regular meat. And, like it's like a little fruit market inside and a little tiny little grocery. But it mostly has a lot of specialty meats, which I showed you last time we went. I think we went about a month ago, where they have ostrich and all that stuff, elephant. I don't know. They got all of that stuff. But Aaron liked the buffalo elk sausage, I think it was. So I said, you know what? I'll go get you some tomorrow. So Jim and I are going to go today, and we're going to go pick him some up. I'm going to probably get one for Jimmy and Danny and David, because David likes it too. And then come home and eat and get on with my day. Exciting day ahead of me. Exciting day ahead of me. It stopped raining for a little bit, but it's supposed to rain again later on. It's supposed to rain off and on all day. Not the kind of rain where I got to turn the light on. Sparkling Susan texted me, or no, she sent a Facebook post that she's sitting in her house with the lights on. I don't know why, it just gives me such a peace. I don't know what it is. I can't even explain it. It's just, like we had thunderstorms last night, which I love, as long as they're not dangerous. I just love hearing the rolling thunder and seeing the sky all light up and that. But like I said, as long as it's safe. I've driven through one tornado with Jim's parents when we were camping. Let me tell you, it was one scary. I felt like the Wizard of Oz with everything flying by me. Felt like we were on on our bike, but we were in the car and we saw things flying by us. I was very scared, very, very scared. And Jim's dad was determined just to drive through it, which is probably the worst thing we could have done, but we survived. So anyway, but let me show you what I had to eat today. Staying on track. Probably I'll eat late because when we leave, we're going to probably leave about 12 or 1 o'clock to go to this meat place. And I don't like to eat before I go. I don't like to eat and travel. And then it's a long way, so I don't need to want to use the I don't want to have to need to use the bathroom. I have no problem using a public restroom, but I don't want to have to use a public restroom. And then when I get back, I think we had some leftover salad from dinner the other night. So I'm going to have a salad with some cottage cheese. And then for dinner tonight, I think I have a little bit of mustacholi. I don't know if you saw my plate on Thursday. I only ate half of the mustacholi on my plate. I wasn't really that hungry then either. So I put the other half away for today. But I do find, since I'm following this plan of not weighing, that just listening to my body cues, I really think I'm not eating as much. I really do think I'm not eating as much. Maybe I am and I'm just in denial. But I do feel like I'm doing a little bit better. And thank you for everybody letting me know that you don't like the microphone in the car. I think I had two people tell me that they like the microphone in the car, and then I think I had like 8 or 9 people saying that it sounded better without the microphone. I find that when it was on my hat, it didn't have as much static. I think when I wore it on my shirt, the seatbelt rubbed against it or my sweatshirt moved around. But when it was just hanging on my hat, it seemed like it was better. But I didn't wear my hat as much as I have been in the past, so we'll see. But anyway, here's what I had to eat. Talk to you guys tomorrow. Well, Jim and I are off on another adventure today. We're going to his wild game meat market. I don't know why he's walking them over. We're bringing some wading boots to the neighbor across the street, but it's raining, so I'm thinking we should just drive across. Did you already bring him the boots?
Yeah.
Well, I would have just drove him across over the... Anyway, there he is. You ready, Jim?
Can't hardly wait.
For a big adventure.
Yep.
Any other plans for the day?
Me? Nah.
Nah, me neither. Hopefully the rain stops, but I don't see that it is. It doesn't look like it's gonna. It looks like an all-day rain. Not a dark rain that I can turn the lights on though, but rain nonetheless. Okay, we're gonna have for brunch, we're gonna have salad. A hard-boiled egg. I don't like an egg on my salad, but I like to eat an egg with my salad. Some cottage cheese and some tea. I have a tablespoon of these cranberries, dried cranberries, just a tablespoon. 3 of these breadsticks are only 2 points. And 2 tablespoons of the Marzetti Caesar's dressing is 5. High in points, I realize high in fat, but I kind of wanted it. So that's what we're going to have today. So today is Saturday, April 1st. My quota is start the new month with great determination. For my brunch, I'm having a salad. On it, I have my eggs, some tea. I have some strawberries in my salad also. Half a cup of cottage cheese, my breadsticks, some olives, and cranberries. So instead of provolone, I ended up putting some a tablespoon of feta cheese on it instead of the ounce of provolone. Some dressing, and I put the breadsticks twice. Oh well. Here we go. And it's late, but it's time to eat. Here's there. I got Aaron and his gift.
Good stuff.
Show me your gift. Here on the spotlight.
Sausage.
Dinner tonight, I'm having some mustacholi with a little bit of cheese on it, bread and butter, and an iced tea. Let's go eat.
Hello, my friend.
Look who stopped by. You leave the front door open, what happens?
Good company comes in.
Oh, is that
I
what it
haven't
is?
been here in a while.
You haven't been here. Last
I
time
don't
you were here
think
with Ron.
for a dinner.
No, you were here with Ron.
Oh yeah, we played Euchre. Yeah, that's been a while. But I hope everybody's doing well, and I hope they're not flooded out or tornadoed out wherever they're hearing or listening to from. So I hope you all have a good holiday, Easter.
That this keeps happening. What were your thoughts?